describe just a brief comment. I didn't get a chance to see a whole lot of you after the West Virginia game. That was just a bizarre situation. Probably 30 years of coaching, I've never been faced with a situation like that. Bottom line, we lost the game. That's unacceptable. There's a positive came out of it. And at this point, we need to move on to Southern Miss, who's an excellent football team. They'll probably be as athletic as any team we got coming to this stadium, and maybe any team we play this year. They've got 8 starters back on offense, 7 on defense. They got a quarterback, Austin Davis, as good as anybody in the country. Just it'll be a great challenge for us. So the thing we have to do as a football team is make sure that we move forward towards Southern Miss. It's a conference game. It's at home, and we got to make sure we're prepared on Saturday at 2:30.
Playing Southern Miss, that almost an East Division rival. That almost ensures not having a little bit of a hangover like after last year's game when you're playing somebody like BG.
Well, I mean, we can't have. There's no way we can have a hangover and expect to come in here and compete against Southern Miss. That can't happen. I mean, our players understand that. Coaches understand that. It's important, for us. Number one, they're coming into our stadium that we're prepared and invested in the play. Well, it has to happen. It has to be no choice, especially against a team of the caliber of Southern Miss. They're picked by a lot of people to win this conference. And if you look at them, offensively, defensively, they're both in the top 3 of the conference in all stats a year ago. And when in Central Florida, beat Central Florida a year ago, which is the only team in the conference to beat the conference champs. So we know our work's cut out for us. Our players understand that. We made sure this morning they understood that, and we've got to have great week preparation.
Coaches, it almost give them a little bit of fire knowing the way this thing ended Sunday to get back out and play a full game.
That's hard to tell. I mean, like I said, you sit in the locker room for 11 hours. I don't know what the hell it does. I don't know what it does for you. It did a whole hell of a lot for me. I know that. But we just we're back, and we can't worry about anything at this point other than getting ready to go play Southern Miss. That's important.
Well, speaking of the weather, they had out of curiosity opener 1917 with La Tech. How much? And looking at the film, how much? I understand it was played in driving rainstorm. How much do you think that had to do with that score?
La Tech, I tell you, you watch Louisiana Tech now, and I played them at one point years ago. They're athletic. They're a good football team. When you look at them defensively running around, they got some skilled guys out there, and La Tech's an excellent football team, and they went in there and played well. But you're right, Chuck. I mean, the weather. I mean, it was a miserable day there, and it's possible it's going to be miserable here on Saturday. I don't know. So we can't control the weather, whatever it is. We'll go play, and it's going to be prepared for you. I hope it rains today, to be honest. I hope it continues to rain so we go out practicing because we need it.
Again, you face kind of an odd defensive front. They moved to a 4-2-5 this year. What challenges that present?
Well, I mean, they're top 3 in the conference in total defense, and they change their defense. But I mean, they got all those guys back, and a lot of that has to do with those guys, those Jimmies and Joes that are playing that front. They got them all back. I mean, they were an excellent defense a year ago. They got lined up a little bit different. They're playing more of an under and over front with a stand-up in there, but they got the same kind of athletes that are lining up and playing. And to me, I look at that as much as I look at their fronts and their schemes and what they're doing is what they got playing against us, and they got good people in all positions.
Is that like being a nickel all the time?
A lot of yes. I mean, they got a stand-up guy, number 8. He was a linebacker a year ago. He can run. They're playing with almost a 5 DB principle, similar to a little bit what we've seen, but it's not totally different than what we did too defensively. So we'll match up. We'll go against each other some and service each other.
These first 2 games, sort of, offensive line put to the fire. Bruce Urban in the first game, Cordero Law in the second game. Talk about him. What he brings.
Say again. I'm sorry.
Cordero Law.
Yeah, they're. I mean, we did play against 2 of probably the best defensive ends, maybe I know in that Big East conference, and they were excellent. I'm proud of the offensive line. I mean, they've, I thought they held up well. They blocked those guys pretty well, and I think as the season goes along, you'll see those guys get better and better. But I thought those guys held their own pretty good against a good defensive front.
Behind them with Rakeem, you talked a little bit about the positives that he showed after the game. It's not much of a greater mental test that he could be put through in his first game with a hostile environment and the weather like that.
Yeah, that'll probably be as hostile environment as we'll face all year going on the road. And I thought the kid went in and handled himself well. He didn't turn the ball over. He completed over 70% of his passes. I mean, he threw 21 times. And, I think if we'd gotten to play a little longer, we could have thrown. We would have opened up a little bit more and see it. But he handled what we gave him, and he said we'll give him a bit more this week. Continue. He he'll continue to grow. He's going to get better and better as he plays. And what I like about him is he doesn't get rattled. And he goes into those arenas and enjoys it. And that's what good players do.
A couple of West Virginia guys after the game talked about his speed. They were surprised the 2 times that he took off. They were surprised by his speed. Is that something you'd like to see him utilize maybe more? Or?
Well, I mean, it's nice to have a quarterback that can beat you with his feet. I mean, 12 out there for what Geno Smith. You watch him, and if we get off the field on third, the only thing we didn't do well defensively, we didn't stop on third down. I mean, we get the hell off the field on third down, we played pretty dang well other than that. And we have to fix that. But a lot of that was we played against maybe one of the top quarterbacks in America. I mean, that kid's special, he really is. And we just got to. But hopefully, Cato brings that dimension to us, because when you got a guy that can beat you with his feet a little bit, and Geno's not tremendously fast. He just he's like a median every time. I mean, if you get him sacked, all of a sudden he steps up, makes a play, and he finds his change and that type of thing. And we'd like to see Cato develop into that. I think he's got the ability to do that.
By the way, you tight ends a little bit. I mean, we saw thrown out early, more Gator and CJ toward the end there on Sunday.
Say it again.
Evaluate your tight ends a little bit.
Well, I think all 3 of those guys they're what we want for our offense. And you saw those guys. We don't particularly have a tight end per se. We're more of an H-back type guy that's a fullback tight end combination that we use them for protection. You saw at times we had 2 of them in there, and then what we call a 12 personnel set. But we move them around, we get them in space, we can flex them, we got them in the backfield. There are a lot of things, but they're the kind of tight end we want for this offense. I thought all 3 of them, they bring what we want to the table, and you go back and watch how they play. They all 3 played pretty well. I like to see us get that ball in front of them in a situation that Nate we're using the flat and see what he done with it. But, some of those young kids went in and played pretty well, to be honest.
The special teams might have been the best that you've had since you've been here, all the way around, with the punting, kickoffs going in the end zone, punting for a touchdown.
With the exception, we couldn't tackle one. But you're right. I mean, when you watch that tape, I mean, our kickoff return was really good, to be honest. I mean, we got hats on all the right people, and last year we didn't block them one time on kickoff return. To be honest, we didn't get hats on them. This year we got hats on them. There was a couple of creases that the book doesn't fall down a couple of times. They could have gone for big gains. So I was pleased. The kickoff, we got to get that corrected. The one thing I thought was good is the kicker put the ball where we wanted, exactly where we wanted it. Coverage-wise, we just got to do a little better job. Number 1's dynamic with the ball. I mean, Austin and Geno beat us. They did. And unfortunately, we didn't get him on the ground and couldn't stop Geno on third down, which is the 2 biggest issues in that football game. But the kid, other than and we can get better. I mean, the one thing I liked about our special teams was we were very, very physical. You go back and watch that tape. I mean, there were some collisions from Tron Martinez to Cortez Carter's to a lot of things that really were positive. A lot of young kids that ran around out there pretty good. So we can only get better in that area. We have to. We have to get better in special teams.
Good to get Jeremiah Taylor back. Kind of an odd situation for you at the last minute.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. I knew what was going on there. I just never dreamed that it was spend a kid for a game, to be honest. I mean, I don't totally understand it. I mean, to me, it's crazy. I mean, I don't think the punishment fit the crime at all. And unfortunately, that's not my decision.
How much of a difference will he make?
Oh, he played a hell of a difference. He's one of the better players. I mean, Jeremiah's he's one of our starters and one of our leaders, and he'll make a big difference. Number 1, it's going to give us a lot more depth in there. But I mean, Trevor Black and Rashad Myers and those guys all went in there and played well. We held a good football team, the top 25 teams at 1.6 yards per rush. And when you can do that, you get a chance to win better being there, I think.
Did that surprise you, Coach, how the young guys emerged? I mean, you see them in practice, you know what they've got, but to do it in the game.
It did surprise me. No, I mean, those guys are good players. And like I say, I thought, with the exception of not getting Geno off the field on third down, our defense played dang well. We put him in some tough situations. We onside kick there, and I felt at the half, I need some momentum just to come out at halftime, and if the kicker catches the ball, and we weren't offsides, by the way. And that being said, it changes that momentum in the second half. The defense went in, it was 3 and out, we stopped them, and it didn't hurt us. They bailed me out. But I was proud of the way they played there, and they had 0 plays. One thing we talked about defensively, they had 0 runs of over 15 yards. They had 2 passes of over 25 the entire game. They had a fourth down stop, 3 and out after sudden change. So overall, with the exception of just a couple things, if we fix that third down issue, we're fine. We're fine.
What about the?
I'm gonna fix this guy.
That's fine.
That's all right.
As long as you got to talk about young guys, you played 6 true freshmen. That's kind of a little bit of just the beginning.
It is. I know. I don't know how many Cortez played. Cortez Carter's going to be a really good player. He showed up on special teams. Baxter played on special teams. Cronop, of course, played. I can go on and on. I know Holmes played. Holmes did a hell of a job on the kickoff return a couple of times. But you're going to continue to see a lot of young guys in and out of there, and that's a good thing.
What about Austin Davis? Obviously, you saw a lot of him last year. One of the better passers in this conference.
He is. I mean, he's like I say, he's a guy that's played a heck of a lot of football for him, and I'm looking forward to playing a team that doesn't have a hell of a quarterback. I mean, we need that. Unfortunately, I don't know. I know it's not going to happen this week, and maybe down the road it won't happen either. But we've this will be the second week in a row that we faced a guy that can beat you, and he definitely can. We got to do a great job again defensively, and work extremely hard this week on getting off the field. If we can do that, we're fine.
Well, speaking of Davis, there again, a quarterback who can run. I think he had like 3 rushing touchdowns on you last season.
Yeah, he did, and he can run. I mean, he's similar to the guy we just played. Hope the hell he's not as good because he can play.
Talk about your defense playing well, but is your tackles Aiken and Delvin and 2 guys behind you? Talk about how they performed.
I thought Delvin Johnson played his best football, and I've been saying that all through camp. I mean, he played well. Aiken, all those guys up front. I don't think listen to Fred talk yesterday, and when we talked about all our players. I mean, all those guys defensively played pretty well. I mean, anytime you can hold a team to 1.6 yards per rush, and those guys up front are doing something right. You know what? And we pressured the quarterback. We just couldn't get him on the ground. I mean, there was times in those third down situations that one route we had 4 or 5 third down conversions. I mean, my goodness, we were all over, and we just couldn't get him tackled. And that's credit to West Virginia. They did a nice job protecting, and we just couldn't get him on the ground.
How well did they do on Curry, you think?
Say it again.
How well do you think they did on Curry?
I thought they did a good job of knowing where he was. They did a good job of he was double and triple teamed at times, and what's got to happen when that happens is we got to get somebody else freed up, because whenever you're max protecting with Curry, it's going to free somebody else up. Getting Jeremiah Taylor back and getting a couple other guys playing a little more should help us there.
What was the most painful part of last year's game down in Hattiesburg?
I just didn't think we played well. I didn't think we played well. I didn't like anything about it, to be honest. I didn't like anything about that game.
I think it's just to make a statement, I guess, early, against that big 3 on the east side of the division. Marshall's done real well in this first 7 years of Conference USA. How big is it to make a statement early against one of those 3?
I'm not concerned about what happened in the last 7 years, but it's important that we go play well against one of the best. It's a good measuring stick for us to see where we are. And I don't think there's any question. I've told you all along, we're personnel-wise, it's a personnel-driven game. We're better personnel-wise than we were this time last year. I watched that tape, and we are. Now, how do we match up against the best teams in the league? We'll find out Saturday, and it is going to be a good measuring stick for us. I'm anxious to see us come out and play, because we didn't play well against them a year ago. And they're the one of the teams that we've got to compete against and beat to reach our goal, which is to win a conference championship. We have to be able to go beat something else.
DJ Hunter, how many time frame on him yet?
Chuck, I don't know exactly. I mean, he's getting closer. I think the one thing that we can't do is, as coaches, we got to be smart, as trainers and doctors, and you don't want to rush that, because then he had surgery where that was fixed, and we got to make sure that we don't set him back and re-injure that thing, because it's not worth that for the kid. I wish he was out there and use it, but I'm not going to let him jeopardize hurting him again. If he's ready, we'll play him.